Alright, hello guys. We got another update, a huge update for Gefyra Docker Desktop actually. We're able to bridge workloads in our cluster now, and I'd like to give you a short demo on how this looks. So we're starting with a clean cluster. Let me just show you. So there's nothing in there, and as the last time we're using the demo workloads I've already prepared. So we got the front end and back end pods which are created. Perfect, this looks good. So let's open Chrome. And we should basically see the front end. Okay, it's there. So last time we basically ran the front-end container on our machine and it connected to the backend. What we want to do now is we run the backend container on our machine and want the front-end container from the pod in the cluster to connect to the container, to the backend container on our machine. So this is what bridging is about, right? So let's have a look. We got the Gefyra extension here, and first we need to start the container. So let's go. We got the Docker desktop context already set. This is pre-filled, and what I want to do now is I want to work with the backend, and we've actually also fixed this drop down. It was pretty shitty, and there were some issues with it. But right now you can just like choose the backend image from the cluster, set the port mappings. I've already pre-filled them, but these are the ports, or this is the port on which the backend runs. And what I also do is I mount the code from the repository into the container. Perfect. So one thing is missing. I'd like to override the command so that we are actually having kind of a live reload feature for our code. So let's get the command. I don't know it by heart, so let me look it up. It's here, something like this. So this should be it, and the debug flag is not present in the image that runs in the cluster. So let's work with this. This is the port. That looks good. So let's run the container, and the backend container is started. There we have it. So right now we should see it in the browser, and it exposes the color blue. That looks good. Perfect. So right now the front-end container in the cluster doesn't know anything about what we're doing with the backend, right? So what we want to do now is basically replace the workload in the cluster with our container. And this is now possible with Gefyra. You can bridge the container now. You have this small icon. Go here and you choose the workload you want to bridge. For me now it's the backend pod. And you basically have to tell Kubernetes on which part your service is exposed. This is also 5002, nothing really special. And we start the bridge. This takes a moment. Now we tell the operator in the cluster about it, and the bridge is started. Perfect. So nothing really has changed, obviously. We still expose the color blue, and we still have our container running on the local machine. So this local host is basically our Docker desktop Kubernetes cluster bound to port 80. And right now, when we change the color here, let's choose pink, it updates. So meaning the front end pod, the container which is running in it, now connects to my backend container running on my machine. This could be a remote cluster, obviously. Docker desktop is executing a local cluster, but right now I can just make API changes, backend changes, and see the results in the front end. And that's an Unbridge feature. If I want to stop this, let's say I'm done with my work, I want to submit it, commit, push it, and submit it for a pull request for review by my peers. I want to leave the cluster in a healthy state, right? So what I do is I unbridge, and right now what Gefyra does is Gefyra restores the original state of the cluster. So when we're going back now, we have the color blue again, and the front end pod now connects to the back end pod again, which is running in the cluster. And that's the bridge feature. It's amazing for cloud native development workflows. And yeah, I hope you have fun with it. Thank you so much.